Justin, I know you don't go against him often since you guys are on the same team. Jerry Judy just so hard.
I think it's his ability to run routes. I think when you have the I'd like to imagine like the receiver position, a lot of it is creativity and the connection between you and the quarterback. And so I think that one route that Judy ran, it was like a slant where he was double covered, set it up perfectly and made the top guy, I think it was like the safety or the nickel, bite outside, and he was able to steal that inside window. Things like that is what makes him special. Obviously from a defensive perspective, you do those coverages for a certain reason and take that guy away. And the fact that he was able to still get open, I think that kind of just speaks to some of his creativity and his route running and the ability to get open. But, I mean, that's stuff that we've seen since day one with him, and it was really nice to see that come to fruition, Sunday when we played the Chiefs.
You've been without Randy, obviously, for a while now, but when he was out there, what made him so good, and how much does that help you guys on the back end if he's out there this week?
Yeah, just his all-around presence. I think, obviously I got to play with him just the Seattle game. Then I got to miss. Then I had to miss, unfortunately, and then, and I'm getting back. Obviously, RG missed some time, and so I'm excited to be able to play with him again. And I think just his presence alone, like obviously he's just I like to call those types of guys like game wreckers, run game, pass game. He just goes in there and just messes everything up. You have on paper you have this run gap, but and RG and those guys are in there and they blow the gaps up. You just are playing football at that point, and that's a lot of what he does. And obviously he's super talented at getting to the quarterback and, helping us out in the back end with coverages and things like that. So he's a game wrecker.
Justin, you're a guy who's played through stuff late in seasons that unfortunately weren't going to enter the playoffs. What do you pull from sort of the motivation at this point of the year when guys are pulling through things, you're not going to get that playoff goal you want? What sort of is that kind of thing right now?
Yeah. Oh, I think first and foremost you're still playing for your contracts, and you're playing for, I don't know how else to say it, like not necessarily for your own self because it's a team game, right? But long story short, like the reality of it is there's guys that are going to be back here and there's guys that aren't. And so these next 4 weeks, like I think, tells a lot about like your character as a player and as a person, because you're not playing for the playoffs, right? That's obviously out the window. And so it's a true test of character of like when you're out there playing, like are you still giving it 100%? Is this everything you said it was and more? Everyone talks about how this is a childhood dream and you've always wanted to play since you were little and you love the game. Well, now you are playing for the love of the game, right? Because we're not playing for, that playoff spot or the wild card spot, things like that. And so, for me, thinking about that question, like it's a no-brainer. It's going out there and doing my job at the highest level possible because that's what I get paid to do, and I love doing it. And there's always going to be challenges with that, but at the end of the day, I care too much about these guys that put in the work. I care too much about the coaches that are setting us up to have success. And so I'm just going to go out there, man, and do my job to the highest level of ability that I can. And I'm not going to leave anything left in the tank.
Justin, you guys got the 3 takeaways that you've wanted this past game. How do you build off that this week, and how important was that to get going?
Yeah, it was huge, especially with the start that we had. It wasn't the best start against a really good offense. And so, we owed our offense, some takeaways in that regard. And I think the biggest positive, from the takeaways is that we were able to get some momentum from that, obviously setting up our offense. I think 2 out of the 3, interceptions were touchdowns. That's a huge swing. And so that for us is a good momentum builder, right? 4 games left in the season. And so, for us kind of having that momentum stack in with these last 4 could be absolutely huge. And like I said, unfortunately, teams are always different year in and year out. But I think for the culture, of looking into the future of this team, it'll be really huge to build off that type of success.
So what's impressed you about Damari's play? Obviously, he had that rough first game against the Chargers. It seems like since he's really bounced back.
Yeah, I would say that, just that. I think you always are going to have a rookie moment where just things don't seem to go your way. Just might have been a rough day in the office, but the way that he's bounced back and in a big way at that. I mean, he's been extremely sharp, and it obviously helps having guys like Kareem and Pat. Kwan's been great, even though he hasn't been there on the field with him the whole time. Just being in the room. Isang's been great. Sharing some of his advice when he got thrown in. As a rookie and had to play some big time ball. So I think we just got a great room of guys that have kind of rallied behind him. Obviously, great coaches. CP's been great for him, and but I think he's just a baller. The moment's not too big for him. He goes out there, and he's going to do his job. He has some really nice tackles. He takes pride in that. And so when you have your head on straight like he does, there's success is bound to happen. He works hard enough. It matters to him. Really a steal, for us. And so I'm excited for him and his future, and he's just going to continue to keep growing.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you,
Appreciate it,
Justin.
man.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.